Why did you accept an invitation to play in that AVCA event next week?
You know, we used to do it back when Jordan played. We played in a couple. I think it's Nebraska needs to be in there to help promote this thing. I'm sure we'll get a lot of fans there, and it's great exposure. We're trying new things, what they did in the Olympics with the no lines people, which I've been fighting for years. You know, the replay system, timeouts are going to be faster, all those things. So we're trying to go where the game needs to go, which is everything's going faster. The challenge system's better, and the timeouts are shorter and less. And I don't know if they'll do less, but they'll be shorter. And what else are we doing? There'll be an 8-second serve clock, so it'll be new. So anyway, it's just we're going to where the game is internationally and where it is in the Olympics of how they are running it. So I want to be a part of that and have Nebraska help promote that and be a part of that. And it's also in Louisville. The Final Four is going to be.
So they got some waivers to do different things just for this match?
Yeah. So he got a waiver for 4 teams. They're working to get next year more teams in it. And they're working to, and you can only go 2 out of every 4 years. So they limit it, so like Louisville or Texas or Wisconsin, Nebraska can't go every year. You can go 2 out of 4 years, so it'll move it around. But I think what they want to do is expand it and have it different parts of the country. It's also, the best thing is it's a great opportunity for us to showcase volleyball before football starts. So I think that's the key. And one thing Tom Chattel is already all over it in his article he wrote about in December. There's going to be 4 college football playoff games a weekend. The Final Four is going. So there's going to be a lot of competition and a lot of focus on football that could take away from volleyball. So this is our chance to start things early. There's not really much going on Tuesday night.
So will you be in this next year?
I don't know yet. They haven't decided.
You say those got the waiver as the AVCA got the waivers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jamie Gordon, the AVCA president, got the waiver from the NCAA to do this because football has 0 week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we used to have this, and it was taken away, and I can't remember if it was a cost thing why they took it away, or I don't remember why. It used to be a whole week earlier. Now it's Tuesday before the first Friday. So it used to be the whole weekend earlier. Last time I remember it was 2008. We hosted it in Omaha, and that was just also the site of the Final Four. So again, it helps promote the Final Four also. Right? But I think the Final Four is sold out.
So the plan handled the quick turnaround from the Saturday red white to right into competing on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's going to be a quick turnaround. So that's. But normally we played 3 matches in that first weekend in the old days. Now we're trying to get away from that, but we had already set our schedule, and then this came up, so just thought it was a great opportunity.
Are you going to play a match at Pinnacle Bank Arena next year?
Pretty sure it's probably going to happen.
Why now, after kind of resisting that for several years?
It's a great question. It's not something I'm dreaming about every day. I just think there's a lot of pressure for us to go in there. We're talking about doing a tournament early that would be in there. It wouldn't be a tournament, more just a couple matches. So PBA is open, and so we'll see. But if I had to bet money right now, I would say yes.
But you probably wouldn't do a Big Ten match there, correct?
No. Devaney's our home.
Speaking of scheduling, I mean, this year you also have a number of teams that are coming here not playing you. What was that negotiation like, and was that just kind of to make sure everyone's getting 3 matches? Or?
Yeah. So, the whole thing is when you bring in 4 teams and you play 3 matches, somebody gets the bad end of the deal because they got to play back to back almost. And I remember a couple years ago, UNO came here. They went 5. The first match went 5 games. They played and went 5 games. Then they had like literally an hour and had to play another 5-gamer. So it's just not fair to the athletes to do that. So what we're doing now is we only want to play 2 matches, one each day. But you also, if you have 3 teams, how do you do that? So you got to get a 4th team. So we pay for those teams to come in, and they're looking at who else they can play for their RPI and so on. So it's a win-win for them. They get to come here and play at Nebraska. They get good, what they think are good RPI matches for them, and they get paid. So that's kind of how we have to do it now.
It helps teams that have a good relationship with Denver and Long Beach.
Yeah,
and does it
yeah.
help that
It's,
those are
I
the
mean,
teams-
Long Beach was here last year. They wanted to come back. So, and I think they've got a recruit from Norris.
Yeah.
So for them it's good, and obviously Megan's been here before and wanted to come back. So, but they're also going to get to play 2 really good matches, and some teams want to play us, some teams don't want to play us. So I don't know. That's kind of how we have to do things now.
Just going to the team itself now, all the success last year, are you trying to separate last year from this year, or, are you trying to parlay that momentum into something even bigger? Like, what's your message to the girls in regards to that?
If we're worried about what we did last year, or we're counting on that, that we had a great year, or we got all the way to the finals, then we're gonna get sucker punched this year. We cannot. We don't even look at last year or talk about it. It's about reinventing this team and reinventing this season. It's going to be a new journey with new challenges, and that's what our focus is.
Have you settled on a format for the scrimmage?
We're going to play. I'd like to play 4 games. That's about it. But I know we've got some other stuff going on too, with ceremonies and lifter of the year, and I don't know, there might be something. Oh, there's going to be like 100 alumni here, I think. So we're celebrating a lot Saturday night, but we need to have. We want to play 4 games in front of 8,000 and prepare for Tuesday.
Taylor shared a little bit of sharing her why with the team. Just what was the message about doing that, and just how important is that for your players to really connect ahead of the season?
Well, everybody shares what their why is. Taylor did an amazing job with it. She said she took an hour and a half preparing it, and it was really, really good. It was very moving, and she put a lot of thought into it. But we want them to get them to think about why they're playing Nebraska volleyball. And so you guys should ask yourself the same thing. Why are you working for 10-11? Why do you want to be a news guy? What's your why? So, but we like them to tap into deep down, what their why is, because I think that helps them get through tough times.
What's your why?
I haven't done mine yet this year, but I got a lot of whys, but I have to think about that one before I shared that publicly.
You could have several good outside hitters this year, 2, 3, 4 good outside hitters. What are you doing so that they all feel like they had a fair chance to be the starter?
They're all rotating. So they're all rotating. We have not set a lineup yet. I don't know if we will. We're probably going to look at a couple different lineups Saturday night. That's what we've been doing.
How have you seen Taylor specifically grow just within the last couple of weeks?
Well, first of all, I think she's just trying to get comfortable, and even as talented as she is, this is a whole different environment than what she's been used to, and it's a change. And we're working with her on trying to get her better. So there's always a learning progression there. So some days she's really been good, and some days she's like a freshman. She's fun to coach. The girls love her, and she's trying to help this team be great.
And similarly with Layla as well, just her confidence and the way she's grown the last couple of weeks.
Layla's she's a really cool, and she's not afraid to speak up. And that's where you see that confidence from. She is not afraid to talk in front of the team or speak up if things need to be said. And she's works really, really hard. And I've seen her make some really big jumps here in the last week and a half. Again, they're trying to get comfortable with what we're doing, and how we train. It's different where they were before.
How might the depth you have at DS impact the way you use rotations and subs this season?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's an interesting problem because we have some elite back row people. We got elite, attackers. So, but you got to get a rhythm into your team, and so it's it's going to be a good developmental story. See how it goes. But we haven't decided, but we spent a lot of energy on it, talking about it right now.
How does the two libero situation play into that?
For us, it doesn't. So, I don't know. I think the reason that rule is popular is for the Division III schools, Division II schools that have 25 kids on their team because they got to, have big rosters for, attendance and recruiting. And so that way, I want you to be libero. I want him to be libero. We'll trade you guys off. So that's why I think the rule passed. I'm going to be shocked if I see any Big Ten teams doing it. I think it's hard enough to find one great libero, much less two. And I want our libero in there, the whole time as much as possible. But we'll see. It'd be interesting to see.
For the history project, who's the one who's pairing them up and giving them assignments of who they need to talk to for the alumni?
Lindsay did it all because she contacted
Peterson, not Crosby.
Yeah.
Peterson.
Yeah. Lindsay Peterson. She contacted the alumni. She's on a group chain with all them. So she said, "Hey, liberos, you guys are talking to these guys. Setters, you're talking to these guys." So she's coordinated all that and set it up.
Who have been your best outside hitters in serve and pass?
Depends on the day. Depends on the day. So they're all pretty even, but some days some people stand out. Some days some people don't do very well. So, but yeah, there's our best passers are four little people. Those guys have been passing really high numbers.
What about your best servers?
That's been all over the place, but Lexi's been our best server over the last 2.5 weeks. Lexi and Liv are statistically our two best.
Many of us have already watched the ESPN E60 that airs Sunday and talked with the awesome directors. But what do you hope that Husker fans get out of this, watching this on Sunday?
Well, I hope they're hydrated because they're probably going to cry. I was crying in the first 45 seconds. I think it's a big tribute to a women's sport, and the fact that it's at Nebraska, I think is really, really impactful for the state that ESPN 60 would do this documentary, and it's very powerful. I think it's going to give them a great inside look into Division I college athletics, the challenge that these guys have, and we talk about them being stars here, or rock stars. I mean, I've heard that term used, and like I said in that documentary, there's a price for all that, and these guys, some of them have to pay it, some of them pay it more than others, and I think they do a great job of pointing that out, the pressures and the expectations, and we're gonna travel with police now. We've been mandated. We got to travel with police. I'm like, are you kidding me? But you saw what happened with Caitlin Clark and what's going on, and you saw in that documentary some of the stuff negative stuff that happens now in this day and age, and so the rules of the game have changed, and the pressures of expectations of a volleyball team have changed. I think football's dealt with it in the past, but I think it's going to give them a great insight to how we operate and the challenges we have and the highs and the lows, and it's not all perfect every day, and everybody's not always happy every day. But so I think it's a fascinating documentary, and I think it's very educational. I think the Nebraska fans are going to love it.
Mandated by who? The Jeff Police? Big Ten or Nebraska?
Our administration, Troy.
Do you have a favorite moment from the documentary, or just the whole thing?
Yeah, when I dropped the F-bomb.
One of the things
They beeped it. I think it was an F-bomb. They beeped it, but that's what I think it was.
One of these things you said that was during the spring, the joy was out of Harper. she had a different approach this fall? Do you see a different side of her in the fall practices?
Yeah, she's done much better, but there's still ups and downs with her, you know, and she's navigating through that. The biggest thing I've seen in Harper is she's really matured. She's much more, our conversations and how she handled things, she's much more mature now. Where last year, she was a squirrely freshman, you know, and I just think she's been humbled and she's mature, she's done a lot of work, she's trying, it's not perfect every day, and she, like all of them, they're struggling. I mean, I've seen Lexi and Merritt. I mean, I've seen them both break down in the last 2 weeks. I mean, this ain't easy what we're doing, and we're, you know, we push them, and so they are all going through that, and Harper is too. Harper just may have a little more that she has to deal with, and getting through her first press conference, you know, that was a big deal for her to get through that. Was it perfect? No, but you know, she didn't answer Brent's question because she was going to lose it. She didn't want to lose it in front of you guys. So her and Merritt had they had a plan. She didn't feel comfortable. Merritt was going to help her, and that's why Merritt's a great captain. So, but you know, you got to think about, you walk in her shoes, you know, what she's gone through, and you know, and like you guys see in the documentary, you know, we got to believe in these kids, because there's so much doubt and negativity out there. So if I'm not believing in them and my staff's not believing in them, who is? So times have changed a lot, and anyway, as we say, the great ones adjust.
All right, thank you.
Okay.